Literally, there's no pressure. I'm your host, Bangem Bugg.
It's your girl, Just K for real.
And we got a special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Enin Perryman. That's ENINPERRYMAN. You will not forget it. Number 9 spelled backwards.
Okay.
I know that's right.
What made you do that?
Well, long story. When I was born, later on Scrabble, of course, we spelling out words. We're like, what is your name spelled backwards? So turned it backwards. It's spelled 9. Found that out when I was in Germany, and it's also a greeting. The gates is Enin, which means like, how are you? So that piece ended up being a marketing tool as well. You know what I mean? The gate is Enin in a country that I wasn't born in.
Now make sure you sit closer to the.
Y'all, all right.
Okay, so you said you was from Chicago, so kind of tell me like how was it like growing up?
Well, I was born in Chicago to a blues legend, fantastic Elroy, rest his soul. We lost him to COVID last year, and a gospel singer named Poindexter. So I was doggone damn to be in between, if you will. So, my dad, when they were sort of like, I guess you say Ike and Tina Turner back in the day, that kind of thing. So, being along with them and tagging along with them, when I was 5 years old, they discovered I could sing. I was doing a Natalie Cole song in the back seat, and they was like, "Who is that?" We're on pitch and everything at that age, and music has just had a hold on me, ever since then. And it's been a long journey, but here we are, back again in the game.
It was pressure on you to be in that music once they heard you could sing?
It wasn't because, what I'm saying, my daddy would take me to clubs at 5, 6 years old, would set me on the thing while they rehearsed it and everything. They were like, "Lee, what was wrong with that baby?" Because I wouldn't move. I was just into the music, grooving. Hey, And he was like, "This is gonna be my next Michael Jackson right here. Trust me, watch."
Oh, Michael Jackson.
That was his thing. Is like he wanted to be the Joe Jackson, that kind of thing. And we just took it from there. And after seeing my dad and my mom perform together, it just was like something that was bubbling in me, ready to jump in the game. Like, hey, I want to do this. When you say born to do this, literally, I was born to do this.
Okay, so you mentioned the Ike and Tina reference. So was he beating her like?
I'm gonna say this, not to spill the tea, but they were divorced. They got divorced later. I was the quote unquote love child to kind of keep it together. And it didn't work.
How long they tried to stay together though?
After I was born, it took about 3 years, and then she realized like this ain't gonna work.
Okay, so he was mean because you said Joe and damn Ike. I'm like, damn, that's a mean man.
Daddy was forward. I would say mean. He was a musician, and most musicians, we're
straightforward.
That piece, and it's misunderstood energy, you know what I'm saying? But Dad was like, he was a strict disciplinarian. He never had problems with me because we communicated through music. I was like, instead of beating, I'm like, "Oh, Dad." Okay. Watch me do the Michael Jackson song. Like, you know what I'm saying? I scapegoated around punishment, through music, really, with him.
So you entertained to get out of it?
I entertained to get out of it. And he was like, "You know what? Nigga, you gonna do this."
You're lucky you good at some shit.
That piece right here, because I'm finna tell it for them.
Okay, so did y'all were y'all kind of close, or you just kind of?
We were close to music. Literally, we would go without speaking for a minute. Like, we had a family reunion in Chicago, and on my first album, when I was signed to Sony in Europe, and my first album was called And Then Came Enin, and I wrote it when I was 22 years old. And it had, Enin Perryman, and all he saw was his last name. "Man, check this out, man. This right here, this me." I'm like, "Dad, the first name?" He's like, "No, this is me." I was like, I guess he's right, because I got his blood running through my veins. I'm his namesake. So, yeah, so that made me proud. And like I said, we talked through music and communicate through music. So, the rest is history, you know what I'm saying? Like, after that, we really got closer musically. This one time he gave me a lesson. He says, I was living in Memphis, Tennessee, and I was writing music and, working and everything as well. And Daddy was like, "You in the home of the blues, man. You ain't seen James Brown." And I'm like, out the blue. This was when James Brown, his last concert, he did in Memphis in May. Dad was like, you ain't no R&B singer, no writer if you ain't never seen James Brown. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know what, maybe he's right. So bought tickets. I was in the middle of the.
That's fire.
I got pushed up to center stage, which was really weird. And James at that time was not doing the full splits and everything, but he gave a heck of a show. Like, I saw Prince, I saw Michael Jackson, I saw everybody that I idolized growing up, looking at these people in as far as entertainment ethic and all of this stuff. He was he was literally the hardest working man in show business till he died. And literally he died like after that show, like a couple of weeks after. I think that was his last show. And I was like, Dad, you're right. I saw him, and I can go on and write real R&B soul now. I can put my arm into it because it's like he passed the mantra. You know what I'm saying? Like
James Brown is the GOAT.
Man,
The GOAT. I'm talking about in all aspects for real.
He is.
I ain't even doing any James Brown with it.
Man, you gotta watch. Dang, I forgot what the movie is called, but it's a movie on Netflix about him. Watch that joint. Get on down. Get on up. Watch that joint.
I think I seen a movie on him, but I mean, I don't like his
You ain't
music
read
like
it.
that.
But you listen to, you're influenced by it. If you like hip hop, you like James
Everything.
Brown.
I mean, you influenced because Michael Jackson basically was influenced by him.
By him as well.
Everybody was influenced by him.
Man, you watch my show one day, you'll see some James Brown in there. Like, I took notes. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this man, he literally understood his audience and how to mesmerize you with showmanship. And it's like, you don't do that now. Even rappers, like, you know what I'm saying? They don't, get it all to, you know what I'm saying? This man gave it all from the beginning of the show when the man basically came out, James Brown, he was bang. From the beginning to the end, you was like, wow, like, what did just happen? It was an experience. And I think that's what's missing with a lot of entertainers now. We don't entertain. Like, well, COVID done put us back in that ring. You better bring it. Because people hurt and they ain't spending their dollars if you ain't bringing it. That piece. And I make sure, if you've ever been in an Enin Perryman show, y'all better take notes of this. If y'all lucky enough to get to the show, y'all finna see something. Because I'm going to give you from the rooter to the tutor. Everything. You know what I'm saying? We in a mode to bring real R&B soul back to the market. It's time. You know what I'm saying? People work too hard for their money to just have trash on the radio. Just saying.
You been waiting to ask something.
I let people get it out now. I don't try to cut motherfuckers off.
Building up. You
like,
but I'm about to ask.
Come on, man, bring it.
Okay, so what
There's
was,
no pressure, right?
Literally, there's no pressure.
Okay.
Did we already cover if there's anything we can't talk about?
No, I didn't say
Oh,
that.
you
but
gotta be.
I'm open book.
I'm gonna do it towards the end, so get the agreement.
I've seen y'all shows.
For real, a lot of people call me after the interview and be like, "Hey, bro, don't put that shit up." Like it happened like over 10 times. So
I'm 50 years old.
I have
Ain't
to-
nothing out.
Grown.
Bring it.
I
I'm
have to
fully
get that
grown.
agreement.
Bring it.
So what would you say the most traumatic experience you had as a child?
As a child, my mother was manic depressive. Let me put it like that. And anybody that's dealt with somebody that's manic depressive or bipolar, you deal with two different characters. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's the good one, and sometimes it's the other one. Mm-hmm. We literally had two names for our mom. Mom, one was like Ma, and then we call her first name. We never call her, but you know what I'm saying. Oh, Norman's here. You know what I'm saying. That piece to differentiate how we was gonna respond.
How many siblings you have?
It's two of us by my mother, and by my stepmother, it's 4. And then there's one, we kind of outside because the first marriage, and then he divorced her and married another woman, and then at that time had.
So you had like one partner in crime when it came to. You said Norma?
Yeah, Norma.
Okay. So you had like one partner where it's like, all right, this is what we going through
that
today.
piece. Yeah, that piece. And my older brother, Mike, he was literally like, when the other one would show up and start jumping on us for no reason, like he was like, boom, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like he was my pride, like boom.
That's fine.
Because I was, I'm a Capricorn, so I'm a fighter. I'm just saying, what I'm saying? I don't encourage people to fight your mothers, but what I'm saying? When that other one came, it was like survival, it was fight or flight. You know what I'm saying? It was survival. You know what I'm saying? I know some people can relate to this, that either we're in abusive relationships, because this thing is cycle. You know what I'm saying? Like you end up, why am I with this abusive person? And well, you know, you go back to where you came from and look how the situation handled it. You know what I'm saying? You're like, dang, you know, either you want to be like that person, or you find yourself like that person. And
Some people like abuse though.
But I'm saying, you know, it's patternistic. Like you have to look at, you know, the psychology of the matter. Like, you know, did I have an abusive parent or whatever? And then some people, you're right, are just me, and they're gonna be abusive either way it goes. But most, I would gather, most psychologists would agree with me that it's probably patternistic. It was the mother, or they saw some abuse or whatever, and then when you go through that, sometimes it gets normalized, and then, you know, when you become adult, you're like, why am I acting crazy? You know what I'm saying? You know, with my kids, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying? And you think about it.
Some people don't even know it's crazy.
That is. Yeah.
Like you said, it's normal. So it's like, okay, cool, another day.
Yeah, because, you know, sometimes women will push you to, like, beat them up, like, on purpose.
I'm glad you ain't on.
You ain't never met nobody like that. They kind of push you, like, if you
No, I agree in certain circumstances, but it takes two to tango on every circumstance. You know what I'm saying? There's people that do push, but when you're going back, like I said earlier, if it's patternistic, like if there's a woman that she saw her mother succumbing to, I watched the movie, I forgot what the name of the movie was, what the movie was talking about. You know what I'm talking about?
Nah.
The mother was like, you know, you just give him what you want, get him what he wants. Don't always, you know, don't never buck up to a man. And you know what I'm saying? If he beat you, that's because he going through something. And that's what she was taught. In the end of the movie, when she really got beat, she was like, I taught you wrong. You never let anybody put their hands on you. Like, you're too precious for that. But it's too late now. She already pattered. You know, like, I'm like, I get where the movie was come from.
Hey, come outside.
Man,
You was wrong.
that piece.
Come holler at me real quick.
That piece.
Okay, the most toxic person you dated and what made them toxic?
Whoa. It's been a lot. Just saying. I was married for 7 years. Somebody that was just couldn't keep it at home. So yeah, I'm gonna say my last marriage, the only marriage. But you know, I grew up old fashioned. I always thought it was gonna be for life, and it wasn't. So I was pissed at the person because like y'all, yeah, I wasted 7 years of my life with somebody that wasn't. You know, and to me that was it. That was the toxic part of it.
What made them toxic?
The disloyalty, the lying, and you know, I could deal with the, you know, most people can with the cheating. Like, you know, okay, all right, cheated. Let's reset. And let's see what we can do better. You know, do some counseling, marriage counseling. See what's what. You know, is it time? And you put more time in it. And I think you automatically blame yourself for, you know what I'm saying. You know, well, what am I not doing right? You know what I'm saying? No, you just married to a no person. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? You didn't vet properly, I guess. You know. And we did the whole dating thing for 2 years, and then got into the joint, and it was like they turned to a whole different person. And I'm like, you know, you're the reason that people say marriage is toxic, because like you ain't live up the end of the bargain. Bad piece, like, you know. But yeah, so that I think the dishonesty, like, because if I can't trust you, I don't really want to be around you, like just anybody. Like if I start not trusting you, I'm like. Don't you think it's wise, like, to do like a private investigator type thing? I didn't want to be that person putting up there. Friends was telling me, put whatever in the car. You don't think so?
How many times you did that?
I ain't done it before. I know before, like, I have to do that. Like,
so you saying like
if I do that, it'll just to be like to see it. But you don't know by their actions. You know what I'm saying? I already be knowing.
Nah, some people hide their stuff good though.
Well, I ain't never met nobody faithful, so
I can't don't tell you that.
Yeah, see, yeah, you can vet.
I mean, people from dark places, you know, or like a bad background, they can be solid. You don't think so?
Huh?
Like if somebody comes
so that's
from...
a solid no? Like if they come from a bad background, then like they probably cheat, you know?
I mean, they still could be solid. You think because somebody got a bad background, they can't be... Like...
No, I don't think that at all. I'm like, what the background check I do if they faithful or not?
No, you said because I don't know they past or whatever you said.
I said you can't tell if they're going to be faithful to you or not with your background check.
for my background check. I don't do no background check.
Oh my God. Anyway, next. Look, they in the back like, this nigga tripping.
I just find out as we go along, but it don't be like I done proposed to him or something.
Well, I think first of all, you got to start dating with a purpose. You know what I'm saying? If it is what it is, you know what I'm saying, you're going to find out along the way. You know what I'm saying? You know, I always, you know, to my own demise, just put it all out there first. You know what I'm saying? I'm 100% honest from the get. You know, like it is what it is, right? But a lot of people ain't used to think you fake it. Because, like, you know, like, I ain't never met nobody real. That's you. Because, you know, you pretending to be something you're not because you ain't never seen nobody real. So when it comes, you don't recognize it. You know, just like game recognize game. What real should recognize real, you would think.
But they ain't real.
So you still think it's motherfuckers who out there just want to be with one person, like after all this?
Just because you're in Atlanta, a single person city, doesn't mean that there are people that want to be faithful and that want the monogamy. Some people done been through, you know. But here's the thing: don't be no used up chain, because ain't nobody gonna want you once you all done. You know, I'm saying, you know, who want a green chain? Like, you know, I already terminate green.
So you asking about body count or something? Huh? You gonna ask about body count or something? How you know they used up?
This is Atlanta.
So everybody used up.
So I'm just saying, like, you know, if you get in the game, you know, they may not be used up. But I'm saying, like, you know, you don't want to come to the table like, you know, oh, I'm saving myself for this person. You haven't waited 3 years, and then you get in it and it's true. Whoa. I'm just saying, it ain't what you thought it was gonna be. Now you married to somebody that you didn't take time to vet and know that have been around the ringer, and like, what? Now what? Like, what are you gonna do?
It's loose.
That piece.
I'm saying, like Kate done had a lot of guys, right? I think he's still silent.
Why is he talking about me?
You still silent, right?
I'm definitely silent.
Okay. So
but that, let me correct something. That don't make you a bad person just because you are experienced.
I hate it.
Because you can have somebody that never had sex, and then you get married to them, and then the first day it's like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't. Let me just say, this ain't the pussy that
I ain't met nobody who ain't
I'm
had
just
sex.
saying, most people in this day and age have, you know, their experience. But I'm saying now, if you experience now, you gonna come to the table with it then, you know, on the wedding day. You don't have to wear all white, but, you know, come to the table and bring it.
I had one girl who was a virgin, but it was taking too long. I was like, fuck it.
Fuck it.
And my homeboy, they was like, go ahead and fuck her, man, just stop talking to me. I was like, I don't even want to do that.
Was your homeboys piping it up because she was a virgin? Like, they was like, oh shit, you got you a virgin? Was that
no, they was just like, I was talking about the frustration. They was just like, fuck it, and just stop talking to me. But I ain't want it because it took so long. After a while, if you want somebody and they kind of bullshit, you be like, I don't even want you no more.
That's good. Because some people take that as a kick down the door.
Okay,
don't switch the subject now.
All right, I don't. Moving on.
Okay, so something you'll never forgive or something you'll never forgive.
Oh, we just got deep. Again, going back to my mother, she was manic depressive and bipolar, and I literally, and it's in I'm writing a book called Bigger Than Me. Probably 23. But it chronicles the time when I was locked up by my own mother, falsely accused. And it gets really deep, because you know you're dealing with two different personalities.
You was locked up, locked down in a house, or sent to be locked
sent
up?
to jail. Like they came and arrested me. I'm like, well, right to me. I'm like, and so here's my knowledge base now of the criminal justice system.
Hello.
You know, like you're guilty until you can have enough money to prove that you would. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, you get a public defender, and it depends on what their caseload is and what they feel like doing for you. Right. Just saying, in most cases.
So you mention your mom a lot when it comes to like feeling bad. So mom was meaner than Papa Joe?
That piece. Like, you know, let's go to, we talking about hurts. Like, you know, when I was 10 years old, I was raped by her third husband. That piece. So, you know, you're talking about traumatic things. And I'm a war veteran, so I went to the Gulf War when I was 19. Coming back from all that trauma, found out I had PTSD, and that PTSD is triggered by other things in your life too, because you develop as a person. So here I am talking to my psychiatrist, and she was like, and it took me a long time to be comfortable with that and talk about that. And most people that have traumatic experiences, especially in families, especially in African American communities, because we bury a lot of things that are, considered maybe a macabre by the family, or to bring shame upon the family, that kind of thing. So we don't really talk about them and deal with them. It's like, okay, you're gonna be all right. Just bury it, because we're scared to talk about it. Thank God that now, people are opening up, and we have even talk shows like with Oprah and different people, Ricky Lake, back when I was growing up. All these other pieces, remember that show? They open up a lot of, because that's why we have reality shows. I think people are enamored by reality shows, because they talk about real stuff, real hurts, real things that really go on, where the mainstream media, they bury that for a lot. We'll never bring that subject up or this or whatever, but like people are real and going through stuff. So what are we sugarcoating this for? You know what I'm saying? As I said, real recognize real. And so when you're putting it out stuff, and then I guess that's, let me talk about two components. One is the music component for me was a healing mechanism, because everything that I went through, I put it in my music. And then I was like, other people can relate to it, because the music we're giving, we're never really receiving. So all of this hurt and stuff I'm putting in, so in my music or whatever. Pandemic, Past, Present, and Future, which is the new album that's coming out, it's talking about all of the stuff that's happened during our lockdown. If you will, you with somebody, you figure out like, damn, I don't even know who this person is.
You got a song about that?
Yeah, no, I got a whole album, 15 songs. Y'all check it out on Spotify right now.
It's out there? I was on it. PPP.
It's on PPP.
Okay.
Pandemic, Past, Present, and Future. I talk about the getting in the pandemic, dealing with stuff like we were talking about your past, the things that have happened to you, and you realizing that it's made me this kind of person, either A or B. You know what I'm saying? And I really want to get to C. C is where I've dealt with A and B, and I can cope with it and move on, because that's the point where people get suicidal, because they haven't dealt with A or B, and they're trying to figure out how to navigate the life. Because I keep needing, if I do this, I'm attracted to the B personalities, or I'm attracted to A personalities, or I get this crazy one that's mixed with both of them, and I can't really deal with it, and I got to do life, so how do I cope? So even with music, and as muse, most psychologists use music as therapy and whatnot. So I decided, I said, you know what, I'm gonna do, this is my first full-length album in a while. So I wanted to do as many songs as I could, and I ended up writing 5 albums back to back, and doing a whole documentary.
5 albums.
I've been working.
How many
Everybody was
songs
tripping. On 15 on the other one. I got one called Love, Life, and Spirituality. Is 15 on that one. There's a Christmas album called The Soul of Christmas that came out, and then the new one is 20 songs, and it's called I Am Enin Perryman. So it's a trilogy of the beginning, who I am, how I found, myself, and how I dealt with myself, and going through all of these things, and discovering spirituality and God in me, and all of that, culminating to now here I am. This is the person that I've evolved into. 15 songs I talk about breakup, marriage, going through, cheating, lying, stealing, all of that is in there. Everything that we go through, because, I toured back in the day with R. Kelly. I want to set that out, because I don't know anything about overcoming R. Kelly, but as an employee, I didn't see none of that. He ran a tight ship of the people around him. I call them the enablers, because you don't never hear nothing about them people that was around
pushing stuff.
Dead peas, like the man can't read, so like somebody about them chicks up, you know what I'm saying? Somebody knew they were underage. I'm just saying, But as employees, background singer, we just bam, got the check, you went to your room, next city. It was tight. It was a tight shift, and I don't know where anybody had time to do all that. So I'm thinking somebody enabled that, but we don't.
Well, I'm just in his defense though. I had a homeboy. He could barely read, and he pulled most of the girls. Like he was like,
well, the man's rich too at that point. You know what I'm saying?
He was broke though, and he used to pull.
And he still
money.
He looked good.
I ain't saying that. You're a regular looking nigga. What the
Okay, hello.
That is called spade. Something was working that he was.
He sound like a pimp though. Like if you hear him talk, he sound like he
a
talk real
finesse.
slick. Yeah.
Okay. That's what it was.
Yeah.
But you said you got
Yeah, the
He
thing.
taught girls to do damn anything.
Them people. Yeah. You gotta keep your eyes open.
Okay, the last time you made a permanent decision based on the temporary feeling.
I keep going back to this music because there was a song that was and I gotta give big ups to Christopher Starr here in Atlanta, Mary J. Blige's producer. We were sitting in a round table and he said, you know, E, you gotta start writing about yourself. Mm-hmm. And I'm going, here again, you know, I got issues though. I don't want to put that out there. And he was like, them gonna be your best records, bro. I'm telling you. Started doing that on some of these records, and man, like I'm in the booth just crying like a baby. You know what I'm saying? And big ups to American Sushi Studios who dealt with that. Come to find out, they were getting therapy from the stuff that I was talking about. Like I got a song on the new album called Ain't Nobody Mad, and it's talking about going through divorces and all of these things and break up. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like, what do you do when somebody doesn't want you anymore? And you like, if I still in love with you, you know what I'm saying? That piece, like, you know, what did I do? What can I do to fix this kind of thing?
It's like you need some popcorn, some ice cream, some chocolate. Listen to this shit.
I promise you. You start on the trilogy, you go through Love, Life, and Spirituality, or even if the documentary kind of tells everybody. We had an hour-long documentary because it sums up like the whole thing. I'm 50 years old, so it's a lot. The book talks about one thing, but you know, the documentary kind of opens up from my childhood all the way back. The book's going to be very open, so I'm going to talk about all of the issues that going through that schematic of development, you know, kind of, you know, made me make some of the mistakes I made, some of those blessings that happened out of it too. Like, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly. I think we need to talk about all of that so that we can release it and move on. That kind of thing.
Hey, you will go to the back door, scared of your mind. He said somebody at the door. I want to fuck it up. Okay, yeah. Let's go back to this R. Kelly shit. It's a famous comedian. I know you know Corey Holcomb.
Okay, Corey. Yeah.
Okay, he said like R. Kelly fuck boys or whatever. So, do you know have you heard any like thing like that?
Well, I watched what everybody else watched with the trial with the guy or whatever, and I think he only told because they were going to implement him as well because it's federal we talking about.
It was before the trial. He was saying that.
Yeah, probably so. Like, you know, Kelly was a freak. You know, I'm just saying, like, you know, I would hear things about that because I was in the recording process. I was employed after the fact, you know, when touring and whatnot. So what we heard was like, you know, he actually do it in the studio when he record these songs. I'm like, what?
That's lit.
That piece, but the man's a genius. Like every note, like you messed up a note, he knew because he wrote the stuff.
I mean, doing it, not fucking kids, y'all.
Yeah, that piece was like, nah. Nah. And you know, we were thinking the other day because I was talking to somebody about Michael Jackson, and he wrote, Not Alone by Michael Jackson. And
he wrote what?
You Are Not Alone for Michael Jackson's album, and you know the connotation of Michael Jackson being accused of underage, and then R. Kelly. I'm like, birds of a feather. I don't know.
Okay.
You know, we see. But you know,
the whole industry of a bunch of flocks.
That piece, but then I want to get. Well, you know, this the no pressure show,
It's
so
not pressure.
I won't get sued. But I'm just saying this was out there. If y'all remember, Damian Dash and Aaliyah, R. Kelly and Aaliyah, everything. You know, I just saw somebody put a meme on there, and I was like, look. y'all okay with that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Them hugging and whatever.
No.
Y'all like, she was what, underage? Just saying. Jay-Z too.
Yeah.
Just saying. But don't nobody talk about that.
Like, it's normal.
It's normal when your parents trying to sell you into the industry.
I'm saying, like, from your high school, then you see older niggas like picking up girls.
I wasn't, not really. Like, I wasn't that. I don't know. Where I grew up, that wasn't a thing. My mom, when she grew up and shit, like, that was a regular thing. Like, the older niggas come around and want to get the younger girls, but not where I was at. I'm in some suburbs and shit. Ain't no niggas coming to our school.
They used to be at the nice schools and like the schools that was like on the bad side of town. Like the drug dealers putting up with rims. They putting up at the high school and they hopping in. So I seen that a lot.
So one of my friends, but yeah, one of my Spanish friends, she had like older niggas sometimes. But that's it.
Okay, do you think it's wise to take advice from like a person you consider bro?
Yes. I think you can learn from anybody.
Ooh, that's a good answer.
You can learn from anybody. Case in point. I hate to bring that up, but this is real. I'm talking to this shit.
He don't want to bring up none of the stuff he bring up.
Because I don't know, people like, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, when the book come out, y'all gonna understand.
Listen, bring the book
I done
out
been through
because
some
it
stuff.
sounds good.
It's called Bigger Than Me. Plug that, shameless plug. But I was in, and regardless of what your religious preference is, what you believe in or whatever, but you know, the shit that I saw with my own eyes, I'm like, yeah, you can believe if you want to. But I'm just saying, I came to Atlanta, and this was back in, what was it, 2009, before I even, you know, because I'm a newbie here. I've only been in Atlanta, like, when the pandemic started, you know what I'm saying? That was since started the company. And I came here kind of just to scope things out or whatever, and I think they were having an all-white party with Fantasia and Biggie's wife, ex-wife, what's her name? Faith Evans was headlining that night. I don't know, 2008. So we're in the underground. That's when the underground was thriving, right? So I'm parking in that little garage that everybody parking in because the thing was like in some kind of, you know, incognito place.
This everybody be about homeless people.
That means
I'm crying.
but as uniquely it is, and I'm gonna go even there because it was so odd. You know what I'm saying? People don't think God can use anybody or anybody can be used. Here we go on that question. So me and my best friend, we're parking and we're getting out, and then we all duded up for the concert or whatever. And I don't carry cash, no Metro. You know what I'm saying? You rob me, hey, here you go. I can count some credit cards. Just give me life. You know, hope you get 10 cents in there. But you know what I'm saying. So we getting out and we get in the parking lot part and walking up the little thing, and we see a trans woman walking, and we're like, okay, where's she going? The kind of thing. She says, sir. And it was real late, so I don't know what time Metro stops or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. And I was like, you know, she's like, you know, you got like $5 or something, or it's just some spare change so I can catch the motor. And I'm like, I don't really care cash, I'm so sorry or whatever. And my best friend's like, I'm gonna go to the car and see if I got some change. I know I got some change. So I looked in my wallet, I have $10 in my wallet. I was like, what? I don't carry cash. So mysteriously, I said, here, I got some, I don't know, I got here. Look. She's like, sir, I don't really want your money. She said, do you mind if, like, I prophesy for you? And I'm like, okay.
Oh, shit.
That piece. And I said, okay, fine, you know, because, you know, I can learn from anybody. So I'm open to that. So we grabbed hands and she said, you know what? You're coming back to Atlanta. You're going to start a company. It's going to be successful, and you're going to get back into music. That was the farthest thing from my mind. I was a director of the hospital system in the VA in Memphis, Tennessee. I had no inkling in my mind of coming to Atlanta. Maybe for fun and going home. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing, but not to live and to, especially do no business here. Everything she said has come true. Everything. The 2 years I've been here in Atlanta, the doors opening and meeting people, boom, 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 and to being on this show, everything was spoken. Turned around, I said I wanted to thank her, disappeared, gone. So do what you want. I'm gonna set that there. If you don't believe in anything, or if you believe in God or whatever spirituality you got, you know, you gotta know, you know, I've seen it come to pass. I'm still living this thing. I was tired. I wasn't finna come back in the industry. I'm like, no, I'm good. You know, I got 5 albums. You know what I'm saying? Since that incident, you know, and it happened just like she said it would happen. You know, so yeah, and I forgot what the question was.
Do you think you could listen to anybody who's broke?
Who's broke?
Consider broke.
Yeah.
But
She didn't have $10. You know, and she gave me back to $10. So, you know, my grandmother used to say, you know, the Bible said, you know, you entertain angels unawares. You know, who's to say that wasn't one? You know, so yeah, I listen to anybody. You know,
hallelujah.
anybody. It's Sunday. Hey, Okay.
It is Sunday.
Okay, let me, before I do the layers thing.
You asked it.
I want to, so, do you agree to have this interview go up on?
I do, yeah. Because it's a prelim to the book. Like, you know, I'm an open book. I'm one of those artists that are going to come on the scene and just tell you all, you know what I'm saying? Because I think what I'm called to do is therapeutic for people, you know what I'm saying? You take, my grandmother just said, life gives you lemons. You cut it up and make lemonade out of it. Like, you know, pandemic, past, present, and future about you can make it. Ooh. Baby, if you made it through a pandemic, ooh, smile. Like, I lost my whole father. You know what I'm saying? Until you lost a parent. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Because you think, daddy and mommy will always be around. But when they ain't there, and we had a Zoom funeral because there wasn't no vaccines and nothing that all out at that time. He got it early and succumbed early. He died doing what he was loved to do, and that's perform. He did a 3-hour concert, told his wife, I need to go to the hospital, I can't breathe. Rushed him to the hospital. Daddy never went to the hospital. Went to the hospital, boom, they said, well, you got this new COVID thing that's out. They did the test, he went into ICU and did not make it back. So, you know, when I wrote this album, I felt like my father was there with me. And I was like, you know, Dad, you know, I'm here for this reason. You know, I got to tell somebody. So I'm just like, doing music just to make money off of it and to be famous. That comes with the territory. But, you know, I'm here to give back something. Like when you buy an Enin Perryman record, I want you to, like a Mary J. Blige record, feel yourself, feel your soul, feel, you know, man, this happened to me. I feel what he's saying. There's a song on the old album, Love, Life, and Spirituality called It's Your Time. And it's a song about grieving. You know, when, you know, in our culture, people, when a person died, the ancestor died, they pass on their energy to you, and you're to absorb that energy and you're to go on. You ever find yourself talking about, damn, I sound like my daddy, or damn, I sound like my mom when I say that. You absorb the ancestors' energy so that you can bring forth new life to other people, and you give it to you bless other people with that positive energy. I think in Atlanta, people need to learn how to be more positive, pass the positive energy out, like the negative, you know what I'm saying? You know, be hating on people like that. You know, one guy, some show I did, and he was like, you know, if you're not clapping right now, you're a hater. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Stop being haters, be a winner. You know, uphold your brothers and sisters. We in a chocolate city. You kings and queens, and don't know from whence you come. You know, you are kings and queens from Africa. You know what I'm saying? And before all of the misinformation that was out, we were ruling nations and kingdoms. And what's the difference? We're the offspring of. Even though we were sons of slaves, we're still the offspring of kings and queens. So it's still in our DNA to be great. Period. So that means we have to help other kingdoms. That's how Africa came to naught. It's because everybody was so blessed, and everybody started doing me, myself, and I. Get rid of those niggas. Me, myself, and I will kill your dreams. It will kill your aspirations. It will kill anything that you aspire to do, because them jokers ain't but for nobody but themselves. But when you got a person that's always, there's a meme that said, you know, surround yourself with people that's always going to see you as great when you come into the room and recognize their energy. Bam. And I'm telling you, we did more of that. You know what I'm saying? Bam. You know, we chime in. We got a governor's race coming. We got a queen that's running for governor. Like, you know, whether you like her or not, it's a queen that has never been a black woman in power in this state. It's an opportunity to show not only Atlanta, but Georgia great, and that we have changed. You can't say, somebody said, you know, don't, I'm sick of white preachers coming to my church saying that, you know, I'm sick of racism. They was like, go to the white church then. Because black folk, they never hated on nobody like that. We always, our chagrin.
So you can vote for somebody because they black?
Not just because they're black, but because they qualified in black. Like I say queens now. You know, everybody ain't a queen. Some people are followers, you know, and that's okay.
Because you say even if you don't like them, what if I
if you don't like them, I'm saying, like, you know, discover the pros and cons about them. Don't just sit on the thing just because you don't like them. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people I didn't like, but I'm like, okay, you know what? I can work with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to see what their qualifications are.
Okay, let me cut it. I don't want them to get pissed.
I'm so sorry.
I know they like, you know what I'm saying?
Moving on.
They supposed to, like, I was late, so then when they came in, they waiting, so I don't want to, like, make them
go
mad
into
or
the
whatever.
time frame.
So,
you keep asking these questions.
Right. Oh, they said it this time.
I know y'all enjoy yourselves out there.
I'm crying.
I'm saying when people usually have a problem, like if somebody if somebody say something about the show, they'll say it like in a message. They don't say it there. Oh man, that was unprofessional. Old girl kept talking.
I'm gonna apologize now.
At the interview.
I apologize today.
But no, they won't say it here.
You gonna blame it on us.
Okay, so just tell us about your what's the name of the album?
The album is called Pandemic, Past, Present, and Future. Please follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook under Dr. Enin Perryman. Facebook, same handles. And if you're an up and coming artist, please, we have a new record label in town called Enin Music Group, Chicago Executives.
Ooh.
Go to www.independentartistlabel.com. Book an appointment. See what the website has to offer you. We're here to greet you and to promote you, not cheat you.
Ooh, what y'all offering to the artists?
We are offering artist development.
Mm-hmm.
You come in with our package. You come in for $40. We give you everything that the industry doesn't tell you, and you get a team of advisors that help you if you want to just be on the website. If you have the following and you're ready and you've invested in your independent, because we only deal with independent artists, because the point is to get them to where they're trying to go that next level.
Mm-hmm.
What we ain't trying to charge $5,000 for what this is. It's affordable for those artists because everybody, it takes money to make money when you want to get into this industry. People don't tell you that.
So you offering them promo, studio time?
Well, we have a studio. I have 4 studios in my new home at American Sushi Studios. Yeah, already booked me. American Sushi Studios. We're in Riverdale, Georgia.
Okay.
And Enin Music Group is incorporated in that inlay. So, we're taking clients now. You know what I'm saying? We're accepting people for the Atlanta branch. We have a Chicago branch called Chicago Executives. They're accepting like everybody in the Midwest. I do West Coast to the South.
Okay.
Kind of thing as far as accepting artists. But artist development is where we at. We're taking artists from the rooter to the tutor and making sure that they don't end their careers as quickly as, because it's a career, so you got to keep the momentum once you get to the point that.
So y'all like mentors?
That too, but also everything that your label would, but it's not a 360 deal. We get you there if you want to stay with us and keep your money. That's fine too, but we don't show you how. But if you want to go to a major label after that, we're backed by Sony, so if you want to go to there and you see, and you're selling, 6 million, 5 million albums, fine. We want, because we don't succeed unless you succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the old school way of doing business with the A&Rs used to do, and we're trying to fix this model so we do have artists that come from independent level to major level, that they will see that our model does work.
Okay.
And that's how we benefit from it.
So y'all
we
gonna
ain't
show 'em.
trying to steal from you that piece, and we do 70-30 splits. So if you know anything about this industry, you get 1% on the 360 deal. They control every aspect. We don't control every aspect of the artist's career. We develop it, that's what it's for. Anything that you don't know, then hey, this is what you do in this situation. This is your PR. If you need a press, this is what happens here. This is how much radio costs. If you want to do this, but this is the most economical way to do radio if you're going to do that.
Do you connect them there?
We do.
Okay.
And everything's on that website, www.independentartistlabel.com. www.independentartistlabel.com. Go in. You can see everything that I'm talking about on the label itself. And that when you book a consult, then if you're in Atlanta, then it'll be directed towards me, and then we'll go from there.
You can't call this nigga if you.
Listen,
So you can't call me directly, but you can go to that website, book your appointment, and it'll be directed. And we'll talk. Like we're gonna have a sit down. Like we are gonna do you like. You won't go to Atlanta Records and be able to walk through there without security escorting you out if you don't have a pre-approved appointment.
Okay, so
Just saying.
Yeah, we finna get into the next guest, and we'll be right back. Appreciate you coming.
Thank
man.
you.
Appreciate
All love. Thank y'all, LOB.